Hello, hello, American Dream Live member. So happy to be here, and there was a bit of a delay, and I will share in a moment before I continue here what the community is about is to grow your beliefs and become a united human being. We do have those experiences, not so good and better one, and we desiring to just have the good ones. However, many times we get to experience, stretch our imagination, our minds, our hearts, to go through some not so pleasant one, to actually experience even more goodness. And I trust that it's helpful to, and that requires definitely a growth in the belief system, because when those beliefs are limited, we limit ourselves to on the possibility, on the willingness to move forward and go through those experiences. And that's what I keep bringing with affectionate P words to practice more of those being state, to actually embody more of that instead of doing, because that's another part that many times triple us when we just pushing doing things and on autopilot, on subconscious level, and not being more aware of the surroundings of what's going on, and putting ourselves in those limits that we could actually thrive instead of just surviving. And I promise that I will be sharing, and that kind of creates that unity within. And when you have that, then it's easier to go through the life, to live your American dream. So I promise that I will share a bit what happened with a delay. We will be talking about today's topic is peppermint. Well, I get to actually renew my method of payment on the application that I'm streaming for. And it wasn't any choice that I could just go and stream. I was attempting to put later, and still I wasn't able to do much. So I get to update that method of payment. There was a recent change of banks, and apparently that was time to be charged to it. So anyhow, so that's kind of the story. There's not much of relevance to the peppermint, and I honestly was surprised by when I received that word as well, and it came in interesting ways again on the item that I had in the kitchen. All of a sudden, I felt an urge to look around and paying really attention consciously around items that had some words, and in a search of my P word. And then I was like, probably, I won't be able to find anything here. I opened the cabinet, and there's a red tint container staring at me, and it says peppermint on it, peppermint tea. And I was like, really? Is that what I get to share around? And I was laughing at myself and about that reveal this time. And I'm like, okay. I thought maybe there is something else that I get to learn about it. However, I'm like, okay, let's go for the peppermint and start upon some reflections. What can be shared around it? It seems like has some connection. I was sharing around how to be pain last week, and actually going through that, and how actually refreshing, and as I promised in the preview, how refreshing experience that was to go through that and being on the other side of that. And with that peppermint that it felt like a peppermint, the refreshing. And that peppermint has many different uses. I found the word on the peppermint tea, but there's essential oil. There's a different application of that for actually for some spices, for candies, for all kinds of things, and it creates that refreshment, and that's kind of the idea of how being in that state of being, instead of doing, what's the peppermint doing for you, how refreshing it is when you have it. So embody more of that refreshment, allowing yourself that you can refresh yourself, that you can take care of you to feel that refresh feeling, and not necessarily actually just reaching for the peppermint. Be that peppermint. And what can support with being that peppermint is definitely um, the refresh, the renew thing, that you can trust that you can do that, because many times, like, no, I have certain age or this or that, some kind of excuse, or I'm too busy to get renewed. So that renew, implementing some practices that you can renew yourself, you can renew your mind, you can renew your heart, you can renew your body, you can renew your spirit, to really feel that refresh feeling with it. And when you in that, and in that belief, then it's easier to enjoy your experience, and keep kind of alluding to that peppermint experience, that it's enjoyable experience, isn't it? So that's another part. And finally, when you feel that renewal, when you feel the enjoyment of that experience, you also feel more in love and with the experience, and with yourself, that you allowing yourself that. And also you can share that refreshment, the renewal, the enjoyment, and the love with the others. And that's what it's all about. So I trust that something is landing here, that when you next time will be having something to do with the peppermint, you will recall the message, that you can embody more of that, and be refreshed, and renew, I should say, having refresh experience, to be renew, enjoy, and have love with it. So without further ado, that broadcast being streamed on YouTube channel, a public YouTube channel, where you can share the content what resonates and you would like to share with someone. I the more the more people kind of seeing that, and maybe something that they actually looking for right now, because they just don't know how to move forward. And so I would appreciate if you would share that. You can subscribe to the channel. You can actually go to the private Facebook group through the YouTube channel. There is a link to it in the top banner, um, how to get there. And also in the thank you for watching, whoever is the member in the American Dream Life Facebook group. There's more interactive experience, more content that it's shared there, not just weekly broadcasts. And feel free to share some comments about the topic, about what resonates with the message on both platforms, YouTube and Facebook group. I'm usually coming here on Thursdays in the morning lately, unless there's some change of schedule. And that's the message, and keep exploring the P words to embody more of that being states, with sometimes some affectionate words to somehow sink in, that with some analogies to that it makes more sense, and it's landing better and in a refreshing way. So without further ado, I'm sending you so much love, joy, and peace, and see you around. Take care.